Hi there, this is Gina Garcia with IH10 Realty. I'm going to talk about the conversation about renting versus buying. I see a lot of advertisements and I get this question a lot, and I see it a lot on social media and everything that why do I want to buy versus rent? Is it better that I just rent? I don't have to worry about nothing. I don't have to come up with all this money. And I don't have to go through any stress or anything like that. Well, first of all, the stress that you go through when you buy a home is literally about 60 days. After that, you've owned the house. And when I say stress, I'm talking about you have to be committed to, you know, doing everything you need to do, getting your inspections done, making sure you don't do anything to your credit, that kind of thing, and really staying in touch with the people that are trying to get everything done. Your loan officer, your realtor, your inspector, the title people, you have to stay in touch with them. 60 days out of your whole lifetime to be able to get a property, okay? To be able to get your own house. So that's, if you want to call that stress, that's what you're talking about, okay? The other thing is that renting, basically, you're giving money to your owner. You are helping your owner build their equity. Okay. So take it like this, if you buy a property, if you rent a property out, and you rent it out for 5 to 10 years, there's appreciation that happens on every home in San Antonio. Okay. So I'm going to give you an idea. San Antonio's appreciation, average appreciation is anywhere from 3 to 4%. Now, of course, we look back 2 years ago and we say that was kind of a myth or that was not true because of the fact that appreciation in those years were like above 20%. But that was a crazy time. That was unprecedented. We'd never seen that before. But traditionally in San Antonio, it's 3 to 4%, maybe two, four, right in that range. But if you're in a decent area where houses are being built, where houses are selling, where there's turnover every year, it's going to be on the average 3%. So let's just say you rent a property and you rent a property for 5 years. Okay. You rent a property and you put your deposit down, and your rent is $1,500 a month. Your deposit is $1,500 put down. Okay. And then you've got to pay, all your utilities or whatever it is that you got to pay, right? Well, at the end of 5 years, when you decide that now you want to maybe possibly purchase a home, if you look at how much money you spent in the 5 years living in that rental, you just add that up and you figure out how much you spent. At the end of 5 years, you got to give your notice, 60 days, whatever it is, 30 days. You're lucky if you get your deposit back, because first of all, you're going to get some issues, probably with condition. You've got a few things that are broken. You got to take care of that. So just say you get $1,000 back out of after 5 years. But say you buy a property, say you buy a home, and you buy a home, your realtor negotiates really good for you and gets all your closing costs paid for you, gets your down payment paid. You come in with possibly 2,000, for your earnest money. And then at the end of the day, you go to closing and you don't have any more money to put down. So you put like $1,000 down. Worst case, maybe a few $100s more, but you pay, a few $100s more than what you paid on the deposit for your rental. Okay. At the end of 5 years, you decide, oh, okay, well, I want to sell because I want to buy something else. I want to move into a bigger house, or I want to, maybe upgrade and get into a new house, whatever it is. And the house that you bought at 250,000. At 250,000, at 3% per year appreciation, just flat out 250,000, that's $7,500. At $7,500 times five, that's an extra 37,500. Okay. And that's appreciation. I'm just talking appreciation. I'm not talking about how you've paid down your mortgage. Okay. So, because a lot of times people just pay every time they pay their mortgage payment, a little bit of that is coming already down on their principal. Okay. So their principal versus their value, of course, there's going to be more equity right there as well. But if we're just talking just appreciation, 3% per year on a sales price of 250, that's 37,500 at the end of 5 years. Okay. And there's give or take all kinds of different aspects of whatever, upgrades. You've kept it up excellently. You've done this, you've added that, and then of course other things. But if I just look at just the base of appreciation, period, of what San Antonio offers, you're looking at 37,500. You rent a property for 5 years and you walk away, you're lucky if you get even close to that. You might get $1,000 maybe back from your earnest money, and you might not get nothing, but you walk away. You paid somebody else's mortgage and got them richer and made nothing. Versus if you buy a property and you just gained appreciation. Now, can this appreciation work for you in different ways? Yes, it can. It can be reinvested into another property. It could go into investments. You can buy something and rent it out. There's so many ways to do this, but this is just the tip of the iceberg. This is just giving you a glimpse of how appreciation works. Because San Antonio's appreciation rates are average 3% per year, if you did that on your own calculator and just said, okay, look, what if I say 10 years? That appreciation would be double that. Okay. What could you do with that money? And it's real money. It's not anything that is just a make believe, because you could turn around and you can reinvest this into a property that you want to invest in and then build your money up more. Now, there's a lot more details on that to cover on that. But at this moment, I don't want to confuse people and just tell them more things. And then it just kind of like it just got it becomes a lot. But just to go over the fact that 3% per year is what you're going to make when you buy a property. That's how your house is going to appreciate versus you renting. Um, that's a big like aha moment, and people don't realize that. You could be, if you literally did this correctly and you reinvested your equity and you kept doing this, you could literally end up being a millionaire by the time 10 years, not only in your property, but 10 years just doing this, buying properties and selling them, buying properties and selling them, or buying property, your first property, and using the equity and keep doing that and turn in that profit into double, into double, into double until you end up actually making some really good money and putting in a savings or buying more property, whatever you want to do. But if you just want to keep renting for the rest of your life, you're never going to do anything. You're never going to make any money. You're never going to go anywhere. And you're just going to be sitting in the same place you are today, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now. So why not start? Why not start with home ownership and see what that reality can be and think outside the box of really building your wealth? So I hope people understand that, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. But I wanted to cover that to tell you because I get that question all the time, or I see it on social media. I see people how they're upset about, I don't want to be forced into buying a property. I'd rather just rent. Renting doesn't do anything for you. You're just helping the landlord become richer when you should be the one buying and building your own wealth. So I hope this helps. Anyway, if you have any questions about this and want to know more details about this, I am going to be putting more future videos to show you the next steps on this. And these will be short so that it's not a whole bunch coming at you, but understanding this is a bigger picture than just saying, I don't want to buy because it's hard. Buying is literally one of the best things you can do for your life. And if you're early enough in your career, or you're early enough in your age, you could literally see yourself be a millionaire by the time 10 to 15 years passes. And so, and even if you are in your 40s or 50s, you can still do this and make a lot of money. So it's just something that you have to explore, and you got to realize that this is a long game, because you know how 10 years goes by really quick, and before you know it, that time has passed and you're like 10 years behind. Doesn't mean you can't start, but if you know today what you can do today, why not start today? But this is Gina Garcia. If you have any questions that you want to reach out, you want to talk about this a little bit more, maybe have some conversation over coffee, or maybe a 10 to 15 conversation over the phone, whichever, just reach out to me. You can give me a call at 210-942-4893, or you can reply back to this email. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.